Welcome to Unit 1. Under Unit 1, we are going to cover cells. Now, as we know that cells are the building blocks of life. Because of that, they are very simple. They are the simplest unit that have all the characteristics of life. All right? All the characteristics of life that you know, these cells have. So in short, cells make up life. Now, what does a cell consist of? What does it consist of? Well, let's look at an animal cell. This one there. So, an animal cell, you can see that there's a mitochondria, the one which is looking like a sausage. That's a mitochondria. You can see the lysosomes. All right. You can see the nucleus there in the center there. You can see the centrioles. You can also see the cytoplasm, the ribosomes, secular. You can see them, right? Then there's also the Golgi apparatus. These ones here. These are the Golgi apparatus. Now, you can see how the structure of an animal cell is. Not only should you know how to label these parts, but also know the functions of these parts. Let's protrude to a parts of a plant cell. Now, a plant cell has got something which an animal cell does not have. It has a cell wall. It has a cell membrane. Of course, this one is also present in an animal cell. There's now chloroplast here. And of course, you did not see chloroplast here. You didn't see it, isn't it? Exactly. But you saw the cell membrane, the outer one. By the way, there's also the rough and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And the difference is that the rough endoplasmic reticulum, it has these ribosomes attached to them. But the smooth one, these are smooth, this part, they are smooth. They don't have ribosomes. But this part here, it has those two muscular ones. Those are what we are calling the ribosomes. That's why we call it the rough endoplasmic reticulum. There's a mitochondria. Of course, the functions we're going to talk about them. We have the tonoplast, the vacuole, and the vesicle. Other things like the nucleus and so forth, they are there. The nucleus is there. Okay. Now, let's look at the function. The cell wall, it's a non-living, thick, rigid layer around the cell membrane. What does it do? Well, the cell wall, it helps the plant support itself, meaning support system. All right, meaning because of that, it's permeable again, meaning it allows all the substances to enter into the cell, also move out of the cell. That's what we mean by being permeable. It allows everything. It's partially permeable. It's not selectively permeable. But the cell membrane, on the other hand, is semi-permeable, meaning it allows only some substances to enter in, so to move in and out of a cell. That's the difference between these two organelles or parts of the cell. Well, the nucleus, it controls all the cell activities, and inside the nucleus, that's where you are going to find the chromosomes and the nucleolus. Now, the chromosomes are made up, they are made up of chemicals called the chemicals DNA. This DNA known as deoxyribonucleic acid. It's a nucleic acid, all right, which is just information about that particular organism. The nucleus is a spherical structure involved in cell division. When you look at genetics under cell division, you are going to branch this into details. We have the centrioles. These are paired cylindrical organelles near the nucleus. What do? They are involved in cell division. What else? Cytoplasm. It made up of 75% water and 25% other structures. Now, in the cytoplasm, you are going to find the other structures like the nucleus, the ribosomes, the what, and so forth. But 75% of it, it's water. Mitochondria. Now, this one is also known as a powerhouse because it generates energy that is needed to keep the cell's essential living process going. A cell depends on energy. Okay, so all cellular activities that actually depend on energy coming from the mitochondria. There we have the endoplasmic reticulum, where we have the rough one and the smooth. The rough one contains ribosomes attached to it. The smooth has no ribosomes, but it is connected to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. But what's their main function? Synthesis substances such as fats and steroids. This is where the synthesis of fats and steroids occur on the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. You can also see the other function there, converting of harmful substances into harmless materials. That process is what we call detoxification. Moving on, the ribosome. Now we said that the ribosome, it builds proteins such as digestive enzymes or hormones. This is where protein synthesis takes place, all right? This is where proteins are made. The Golgi apparatus, on the other hand, it stores and modifies substances made by the endoplasmic reticulum. So all those substances that are made by the endoplasmic reticulum, what stores them? It's the Golgi apparatus. Okay, so we can talk about the functions the whole day. Nevertheless, what can I say? The vacuole. Now this one is mainly packed with fluids, all right? And in plants, there's only one large vacuole containing the cell sap, which keeps the cell rigid. But in animals, it's smaller and numerous, meaning numerous means in twambili, but smaller. But in plants, they're quite larger. Okay, and the chloroplast, well, these are green discs responsible for production of chlorophyll, which is now used for photosynthesis. All right, and we can see the clear distinction between a plant cell and an animal cell. Let's talk about the cell wall. Here is there, but there's no cell wall. Chloroplast is there, but here there is no chloroplast. One large vacuole. There's also a vacuole, but it's quite smaller, very small, and they are quite a lot. So basically with this, by the way, I'm just trying to look at something quickly. Yeah, about life, cells, biology, unit 1. Basically, that's what you need to know. Of course, there's more about cells, like cell organization and cell specialization. But for now, it's just the basic part that you need to be, like to have before even knowing anything else.